This is a regional final. The Mecca awaits in Atlanta. We'll leave next week. Don't worry about that. You got 40 minutes, and it doesn't. Here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to play a perfect game. You don't have to play an excellent game. You just have to play really well. If you play really well, we'll do what we want to do and sing and celebrate and put those nets down. You ready?
He's in his fifth year as the head coach of the Shockers. Malcolm Armstead is the guy who led them in scoring the other night against LaSalle. Averaged 8 points in the regular season. He has doubled that total in the NCAA tournament. And for the Buckeyes of Ohio State, they have the Big Ten's leading scorer in Deshaun Thomas. He's been on top of the list all season. He continues that way in the NCAAs as he is averaging 22 points a game for ninth-year head coach Dan Mata. He's been to 7 NCAA tournaments, 5 straight NCAAs. He has done a masterful job. Greg Marshall, who is at Tiny Winthrop in South Carolina, came to Wichita, and he has delivered on his promise with a terrific run for the Shockers, a team that has not been to the Final Four since 1965. Our officials tonight here in Los Angeles, and it is a very good crew. Jamie Lucky, who has officiated 3 Final Fours. Patrick Adams, this is his 6th regional. He's officiated 2 Final Fours. And Ray Natili tonight, his first regional final. So guys, here we go. It's Ohio State, the 2 seed at 29-8 against Wichita State Lenny at 29-8. They've tied the most win in the history of their program.
Well, listening to Greg Marshall telling his guys, just do what you're capable of doing. And in 3 tournament games, they've done a terrific job defensively. 61 points allowed, 35% field goal percentage, and 27% three-point D. They need to get out and guard Ohio State. Lee Anthony early, the leading scorer during the regular season for the Shockers, really struggled versus LaSalle. Only 4 of 11, 8 points. See if they can get him going early offensively, put him on their shoulders.
Buckeyes have it. They took care of Arizona on Thursday, coming back from an 11-point deficit. It was the biggest comeback they had all season, and they began it with Kraft on top and a screen and outside for Thompson.
And Kevin, the way they did it was have a concentrated effort to get the ball inside, recognizing mismatches, taking high percentage shots instead of settling.
Lenzel Spencer shifted inside by Carl Hall.
What you love to see this is weak side help. Look at all those black jerseys protecting the paint. Hall comes over late with the rejection, something I'm already seeing early. Armstead, who is guarding Aaron Kraft, is almost a rover. He's not even guarding Kraft when he's coming off those screens, which is going to allow Aaron Kraft to have a wide open shot. He wants to approach it that way.
Smith looking there. Here comes Armstead. Kraft on one. Williams inside.
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Amir Williams, with his weak side help, blocking Armstrong shots out of bounds here. Wow, this is championship fight. Absolutely. Couple of jabs probing the other guy.
And they recognize they can't throw that puck. Yeah, the screen by Williams. Picked up by Armstead.
Armstead's going under all those drop screen rolls up top.
Ooh. Smith landed on the head of Ron Baker, who is down, a redshirt freshman out of Scott City, Kansas. I mean, he landed squarely on the back of his head. And he's a little stunned. He just picked up his first personal foul.
And you take a look on Baker's face. This is like adding insult to injury as he came down underneath. That's scary because now you're talking not only concussion, but maybe spinal cord injury as well. We know this is a tough kid, football player. He took the buzz and he said, I'll go beat.
Johnson outside. outside to Thomas. Rebound inside is collected by Shaquille Cotton. Here he comes the other way. A gritty guard picked up by Smith to switch on D. Now they go back. Irwin for three. Rebound by Kraft. He had a nice game the other night. Thomas again. It was deflected off the fingertips of Boone. There was a shove inside and away from the ball and a foul called, and it's going to go on Carl Hall, the senior from Cochran, Georgia. He picks up his first for the Shockers.
I'm not quite sure if he was holding Amir Williams down low on that deflection pass, but you definitely see the height difference between Williams and Hall. So Hall, you got to be careful you don't pick up that second foul.
Williams is screened for Kraft. Ball just down to the Shockers is Ohio State. Lenny has started this contest 0-5 so far.
Yeah, the shots that they're taking, except for a couple driving in the attempt to get it into Williams, the shots they're taking seem to be the settle shots, the kind of shots that got them in trouble against Arizona on Thursday night. Kraft's going to have that shot all night. It's basically a 12 to 15-foot walk-in jump shot. Doesn't look like Armstead's going to give him any type of resistance.
A junior college transfer, Iowa City kid, a player who grew up in Middletown, New York, hits the shot, and the first basket is on the board.
And going back to the comment I made about the shots getting in trouble, establish yourself inside first if you're Ohio State.
Nice defense on Thomas. And Early was right there at the forefront of it. The other way comes Armstead.
This is something Greg Marshall, cut over there by Armstead, that he wanted to do versus Ohio State in transition, try to get some easy ones. He feels, especially when Williams is on the floor for the Buckeyes, you can run up the back of them and try to get some easy lay-ins.
Buckeyes come in having won 11 consecutive games, catching fire with a late win over Michigan State. Carried that to a Big Ten tournament conference title in Chicago, and here they are in the Elite Eight for a second consecutive year. Shot clock now is down to 12. Thompson and Thomas over Early. Michael Smith slips out of bounds. Now Thomas has outscored 22 points a game for the Bucks. He's 0-4 to start this one.
And it's been all jump shots here and forced jump shots against Clay Anthony Early. We talked about it at the top. He's going to have an advantage, especially if he can get into that mid-range area to shoot over smaller defenders. Just can't settle on three-point shots.
Right, and I can't believe that the block shot by Carl Hall early would deter Ohio State from going inside and establishing themselves.
Reversed by Hall, and Hall the other night against LaSalle scored 10 of the first 14 points for the Shockers. Comes up with the deuce right there and a quick 4-0 lead for Wichita State.
And that's a matchup that Wichita State believes that they can succeed in. You mentioned it, Reggie. Hall's running the floor, but also inside, far more mobile than Amir Williams, and he has an understanding of how to take the bigger guy to the basket.
Remember that LaSalle matchup on Thursday? They tried to front pass as Kraft turns the basketball over.
Here's Cotton, who comes through, had it knocked away by the Buckeyes, and 31 seconds on the shot clock.
When they go up with the mobility, facing up, and goes baseline. Williams standing straight up now. He does not have a low enough center of gravity to move laterally to match Carl Hall. He's going to have to get down in good defensive position in order to match that. Then he can raise up.
And Dad Mata told us they're going to play behind Hall. They're not going to side or front him because they feel they have the height advantage to affect Hall's shot on the post.
Early a three, and played inside by Kraft. Kraft has been much more aggressive with his shot. Smith Jr. with a clean. Lenzel Smith Jr. knocks that one down. The junior from Zion, Illinois. Little swagger there by Armstead. Here comes Kraft the other way for the Buckeyes.
Can't play with the basketball on those screen and rolls with Aaron Kraft trailing you. He's too good defensively.
He just controls things so well when he's on the floor.
Yeah, Aaron Kraft is the kind of guy that is sneaky quick. You don't realize that he's got his hand in there until it's too late.
All the wins big for a team like Wichita State from the Missouri Valley. Here's a shot outside early. That is a three for him. He's got 5 of the Shockers. Shockers for 7.
And that demonstrates the versatility of this Wichita State front line. Clay Anthony earlier at the top of the telecast, we talked about him establishing himself down low. He can also take you outside and burn you.
Wichita State took number 1 seed Gonzaga, you may recall, so beat 8 seed Pitt. Kraft early came through Armstead in the vicinity, and Kraft knocks in a triple.
Don't you just love it? He always knows what this team needs. And most of the time, he's able to deliver.
You got the pulse of your team, that's a big quality.
Well, hey, he's going to have the basketball 95% of the time along with Shannon Scott. You better know what your team needs.
And he was shouted, he was making that journey down the baseline. It comes with 14:46 to play in the first half. Smith picks it up for the Buckeyes. A timeout in L.A.
Hey, honey, thanks again for picking up my parents at the airport. I love how I can count on you.
It's not your fault. You forgot to go to the airport. Video games are amazing. 92 artists created this one scene. Millions were spent. Reality can't compare. Plus, are you just going to let Lord Skilbreth lay siege to Dopenshire? Not today. The Brotherhood of Falcons needs him. They can take us nothing. So go forth and enjoy everything. Code Zero.
Take your chances, or you can choose the only luxury crossover in the world that can sense what's behind you even when you can't. It can apply the brakes even before you do. The Infinity JX, the backup collision intervention system. Infinity, inspired performance.
Would you rather play basketball in a big fancy stadium or in a small driveway? Yeah.
A big fancy stadium.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because you could fit my fans in there.
Oh, do you have a lot of fans?
Yes.
Do you believe in yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
No, I meant to raise my hand.
Oh.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
If you got cut rate insurance, it might not pay for all this. So get all state.
That's HORS. Hey.
Protect your home with an off-beat. Are you in good hands?
You perform, you win. It takes teamwork. Every player working together, doing 1,000 little things flawlessly. In other words, logistics. The bounce pass before the jump shot, the box out, the quick outlet pass, the crossover dribble, the assist, the score. That's team performance. That's logistics.
Remember, the best in college basketball gear is at CBSSports.com shop.
Don't know if the Buckeyes are showing a little bit of nerves here in this regional finals, but 2 of 10 from the field and just settling for a lot of outside shots. We talked about Deshaun Thomas and his capability of stretching the floor with his three-point shooting, but to me, he has the height advantage against some of these Shocker players. He needs to get better looks closer to the basket.
Running coming in, the Buckeyes were 50% on their three-point shooting in the tournament, 18 of 36.
Well, again, I agree with Reg. It might be some jitters early, but if you took a look at those shots, plenty of time on the shot clock. And so the threes are coming a little bit too early in the offensive possession.
Couple changes now. Scott is in the backcourt for Ohio State. Corbin Avenel is down there, taking the place of Williams. Baker still in the game. Arrupe setting the screen right there. And a drive inside by Baker. And Arrupe can't get the loose ball. Ravenel, the Boston College transfer, comes up with it. And here come the Bucks. And here comes Scott. Also new in there is Fred Van Vliet, who's a freshman from Rockford, Illinois, for the Shockers.
And once again, Wichita State not taking any chances on the three. High screens, their guys are going over the top.
Thomas. A contorted shot moving his body about 18 different ways, and he gets the 2.
Here's the problem with this. Baker got caught. He was trying to go underneath to meet Kraft, and early thought it was a switch. And you had the smaller defender, and we talked about Thomas being closer to the basket, stop settling for three-point shots. Great example there of Thomas lifting him.
Rupe picks up the foul for Wichita State.
On that play, though, you got to blame Baker because everything was in front of him. He could see early switch out. He's got to recognize once this guy steps out, he's got to cover for him.
Highly decorated Deshaun Thomas. First team all Big Ten this year. 6 minutes gone.
No way.
In our first half from Los Angeles in the West Final. Here's Early. He's got an early 5 in the game. Picked up by Thomas. Shot clock down to 16. See the congestion that defense of the Buckeyes will bring you.
Good presence of mind of Van Vliet, who was out of bounds and came back in and established himself before going after it.
Shot knocked it away. Boy, they really switched defenses early. And how did the Shockers get to the Elite Eight? For a statistical breakdown, get team stream from Bleacher Report as Arupe picks up his second personal for Wichita State. Now they bring back in Armstead.
And I like the move that head coach Greg Marshall is doing now. When Thad Matta went to his 2 point guard lineup of Shannon Scott and Aaron Kraft, now you have Van Vliet, and he came back with Malcolm Armstead to continue him playing Aaron Kraft.
Hall also coming in for the Shockers on that substitution. Buckeyes on a 6-0 run. Picked up by Van Vliet. Van Vliet dancing on the side. Scott's on him. Scott a great defensive guard. In fact, when he's in there, Lenny, with Aaron Kraft, it's about the best defensive backcourt tandem in all college basketball.
Yeah, ball handlers and the off guards have no room to breathe. The weak side will deny you without it, and they'll smother you if you have it.
Clay Anthony Early at 16 in the win over Gonzaga. He's got 8 points and a couple triples early here.
Ravenel very reluctant to show on that high screening roll with Early coming off, which allowed a little bit of daylight for Clay Anthony.
Well, that's going to be a tough matchup with Clay Anthony early in the game because of his versatility. Big guys don't want to come out.
Big box on the ticket inside. A lot of congestion picked up by Van Vliet. He'll meet the defensive Kraft, and here comes Armstead. That's a 3. Change the pace. Where'd that gear come from?
Yeah, that's one of those shots when you're like, no, nice shot.
So far, Wichita State, you just saw 3 of 5 on the long ball.